Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way today, as we are here to watch Sheffield United versus Watford, as Watford face Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane. The team news is just about in, so it's Daniel Batman in goal with Mario Gaspar, Hamza Chowdhury, Imran Louza, Keenan Davis, Joao Pedro. Ken Sema plays, of course, after scoring the 2 goals against West Brom last time out at Vicarage Road. Ryan Porteous, Ismail Assar, James Morris keeps his place at left back, and Wesley Hugh partners Ryan Porteous in defence. So a strong Watford team. Maduka Okoye, Ismail Kone, Craig Cathcart return to the bench, Henrique Arajo, Leandro Baguna, Christian Kabasele and Britt Assombalonga are all on the bench in this game. Let me know your score predictions in the comments section and the live chat, of course, as well. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and as I just mentioned, let me know your score predictions in the live chat, and let me know where you're watching from today as well. I'm always interested to see, the amount of international fans we get on this channel is absolutely amazing. So I'm always interested to see where you guys are watching from today. And yeah, hopefully I can follow along. If not, I'll literally be keeping up to date via Twitter and everyone at the ground. Obviously, this game isn't actually broadcast on live television here in the UK. So I am limited in terms of, actually what's happening in the game today. But yeah, it should be a good one. Hopefully Watford will pick up the 3 points as well. Fingers are very much crossed in this one. And yeah, Watford have got, a decent run of fixtures coming up. If you look at the fixtures Watford have got coming up at the moment, obviously we're playing Sheffield United today. And we've got quite a few home games coming up as well. So we've got Sheffield United, then we've got Preston at home. Then we've got QPR away, Birmingham at home. Obviously, the return of Troy Deeney to Vicarage Road. Wigan at home on the 18th of March before the international break. And then we've got Luton Town away on the 1st of April at 12:30. So after today, I'd say 3 out of our next 4 games are very much, winnable. So, it's looking good for Watford in the upcoming fixtures. And yeah, I really hope we can pick up the 3 points today as well. And we have kicked off here at Bramall Lane as well, by the way. I'm having the same issue, Adam. Do not worry. I'm looking at Twitter at the moment for my updates in this game. But look, I'm just here to have a chat with you guys. And yeah, it's just a shame. It's such a shame I don't broadcast the 3 p.m. games in the UK. Everyone else around the world can watch the games, apart from actual Watford fans located in the UK, which doesn't make much sense whatsoever. But it is what it is. Yeah, it's quite frustrating actually. But yeah, hopefully we pick up the 3 points. Also have my magic water with me as well. Fingers crossed that will help Watford win today. And also, by the way, some Watford-related news. Javi Gracia has actually joined Leeds United. Now, obviously, there was talks during the week about who Jesse March's replacement would be. Marco Bielsa was actually touted to go back to Leeds, but obviously Javi Gracia was heavily linked with it. He got his work permit approved yesterday, I believe. So yeah, Javi Gracia at Leeds. I think that's fantastic to see. I think he was probably quite hard done by at Watford to be sacked. I think his tenure at Watford, I think he was in charge for about 20 months, which is actually the longest tenure any Watford manager has had. And yeah, as Adam says in chat, it's really nice to see him back in the Premier League. He's just an all-round nice guy, really, as well, isn't he? So it's good to see. But yeah, guys, obviously, if you are tuning in, as I said just a second ago, this game is not broadcast in the UK because the regulations are stupid and they don't show 3 p.m. games. So I'll try and keep you as up to date as I possibly can. But yeah, apart from that, I'm quite limited as to what I can do today. But yeah, Watford obviously beat Sheffield United earlier this season by 1-0. We actually played them in the first game of the Championship season. Emmanuel Dennis was still at Watford at the time. Don't know if you guys remember. It was all the way back in August. Obviously, at that time, we was managed by the wonderful man that was Rob Edwards. Now is our arch rival at Luton Town. But yeah, them times were good. Emmanuel Dennis, but we had Dennis, Sarr, Pedro, Keenan Davis, all in the team. Obviously, Dennis then moved on to Nottingham Forest. But yeah, that was actually, that's probably our best performance under Rob Edwards that first game. And after that, it kind of just went a bit shit, didn't it? And yeah, obviously, coming up soon in, just over a month now, actually. Obviously, we play Luton on the 1st of April. So yeah, the return of Rob Edwards to face his former side, Luton Town. Mario Gaspar has had volley just wide, apparently, as well. It looks like I found a feed here, actually. Let's have a look at this. But yeah, Mario Gaspar with a volley just wide. And actually, I tell you what, the Luton Town game at Vicarage Road is right up there in terms of probably the top, I'd say the top 3 or 4 games I've ever been to as a Watford fan. Yeah, it's such a good day at Vicarage Road. Here's Sheffield United playing out from the back. And if you are just tuning into the stream, let me just give you the team news one more time. So it's Daniel Batman in goal, Mario Gaspar, Hamza Chowdhury, Imran Louza back in the starting 11, Keenan Davis, Joao Pedro, Ken Sema, who obviously scored the 2 goals, Ryan Porteous, Wesley Hoots, Ismail Assar, and James Morris keeps his place in that left back position. And here comes Sheffield United on the counter attack. And Watford break it up very well. And here's Ismail Assar trying to drive forward. And I still want to see a little bit more from Ismail Assar. I feel like, he obviously scored against West Brom, but actually before he scored the goal, I was talking to the people around me in the stadium and actually said to them, I think we should, take Sarr off the pitch because he wasn't really having much impact on the game. And then as Sarr does, he always just kind of pops up. He proves me wrong. And he come up with a goal in that West Brom game. But yeah, I find Sarr very hit and miss. Sometimes he can just turn it on. And then sometimes he'll just go completely missing. The Sheffield United game Sarr played in earlier this season, he did really, really well, actually. But yeah, I expect a lot more for the money we paid and the obvious quality he has. I expected a lot more from Sarr this season. And yeah, as I said, it's just frustrating that this game it's not broadcast in the UK. He's Imran Louza, though. Looks, it's fantastic to see him back in the starting 11. And Mario Gaspar, actually, for me, in recent weeks is done a lot better as well, actually. I think the West Brom game was probably the best I've seen Mario Gaspar playing a Watford shirt potentially. I mean, he clearly lacks, he clearly lacks a lot of pace. But defensively, if we compare him to, to Jeremy Ngakia, who's our other right back, who's actually currently injured, I think Mario Gaspar, with his experience, is probably superior. I think, Jeremy Ngakia, potentially we should move on after the end of the season. I think he's had enough time at Watford to prove himself at Premier League level and Championship level. And yeah, I don't think it's really worked out for Jeremy Ngakia. I think what you're referring to there, Adam, is because obviously Sarr and Sadio Mane both played for Senegal. Mane was injured during the World Cup, so I think it was kind of Sarr's responsibility to kind of step up to the plate and kind of be that attacking output for Senegal. I think that's probably where that references came from. Just seeing if I can find any more updates on Twitter. It seems like the only attempts we've had on goal so far is from Mario Gaspar with a volley just wide of the post. But yeah, it's so frustrating. I can't even listen to it on the radio. There's not even like a radio stream where I can like plug my headphones into my computer and listen to the game that way. But yeah, credit to the Watford fans who made the trip to Sheffield United as well. It's quite a way to go. I think the coach has left at about 8:30 this morning. So yeah, it's like like a 4 or 5 hour journey up to Sheffield. Welcome to the chat. We've got 2 Adams in chat now. Connor as well. Welcome to the chat, guys. And I think there must be a few other Championship games going on at the same time as us as well. Let's take a look at the other fixtures today. So we've got Sheffield United, Watford, Norwich City versus Cardiff, QPR, who we play in a couple of weeks, are facing Blackburn, Bristol City, Hull City, West Brom, Middlesbrough, and Reading, Blackpool are playing as well. And Monday Night Football, we've got Swansea versus Rotherham. Premier League is also playing today. Let's take a look at some of the Premier League fixtures as well. For you guys who are interested in Fantasy Premier League. I used to play Fantasy Premier League quite a lot a couple of years ago, but since I got a lot busier, it's just so hard to keep up with it, apparently. We've got Everton, Aston Villa, big game for Everton there. Leicester City, Arsenal, another big game there in the title race. We've got West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and then we've got Leeds United versus Southampton. And 2 good games tomorrow, actually, in the Premier League as well. We've got Crystal Palace, Liverpool, and Tottenham versus Chelsea. And then in the afternoon, we've got the League Cup final. Obviously, Newcastle United versus Manchester United. Probably the best cup final in a number of years, actually. I'm really looking forward to watching that game. And yeah, Hive Live's always down, apparently. Because obviously people abroad can pay for like a Hive Live season pass. I think it's like £100 or something like that, but they get access to watch pretty much every single game. Whereas us here living in the UK, unfortunately, don't have that luxury for some reason. Yeah, they need to change. They need to change the rules, I think, in regards to like broadcast rights and stuff like that. But yeah, as it stands currently, it's 0-0. And let me know where you guys are watching from today as well. Be very, very interested to know. And I'm actually going to the next 4 Watford matches. I don't usually go to many away matches, if any at all. But I am going to QPR away, and then obviously I'm going to all the home matches coming up as well, because I have a season ticket at Watford as well. So yeah, I'm going to the next 4 Watford matches, which is quite a rarity for me, really. And yeah, stats so far. So Watford dominating the possession stats, got 60% possession, committed 2 fouls. Wesley Hoot picked up a yellow card. Millwall are winning in their game. Burnley are winning in their game. Middlesbrough losing, Stoke losing, and Huddersfield losing at the moment as well. So Watford are currently goalless with Sheffield United. I'm sorry this can't be more exciting, but we're obviously limited as to what we can do in terms of watching the game for these 3 p.m. kickoffs. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here and chat with you guys for the rest of the afternoon, really, and hopefully we can all keep each other company. I'd like to see Keenan Davis get a goal, actually, because, you know, for someone who's meant to be our, you know, main central, you know, striker who we look to, you know, Keenan Davis should be in double figures really this season. He's only scored 4 goals so far in a side that's challenging for promotion. I don't think that's necessarily good enough, really. So yeah, if Keenan Davis could pick up a goal today, I think he actually said before, I think he did an interview before the game actually, and he said he just needs, you know, a goal to go in, and, you know, his confidence would be, you know, his confidence would be so much better. So, you know, hopefully Keenan Davis can pick up a goal today as well. Let's take a look on Twitter to see what everyone else is saying. And I think we took a lot of fans there actually as well. The away end looks pretty sold out to me. So it's great to see that a lot of fans have travelled as well. Wow, I've got a feedback. And Sheffield United, actually, I found it quite funny because obviously, you know, them and Burnley have been doing so well this season. But they've actually lost their last 2 games in a row. I actually think they'll win this in 3 games. I think they've lost their last 2 and then drawn the one before that, which is quite interesting, actually. Obviously, Burnley are clearly going to be the team that, you know, wins the championship by like 20 points this season, which is, you know, which is insane. But Sheffield United, to be fair, if we beat them today, I think we go within, I think it's 7 or 8 points of them. And there's 12 or 13 games left of the championship season left to play. So for me, you know, I said it in my match preview, looking at this game, it's certainly still a really small possibility that maybe, you know, we could potentially sneak into them automatic promotion places. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, obviously it all depends on how the result goes today. And, you know, we have to really beat Sheffield United if we want to make that a possibility at all. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Adam says, don't think automatics is totally gone. We beat Sheffield United. We are within 8 points of them. We basically need to win every game for the rest of the season. You know, which obviously isn't easy at all. It certainly is a possibility. But, you know, I would be deluded to say that Watford are going to win every single game up until the end of this season. But Watford have a free kick at the moment. Ken Sema and Imran Loser are standing over it. Wesley Hoot and Ryan Porteous have made their way into the Sheffield United box. And yeah, Imran Loser's deliveries from set pieces are usually quite good. So good opportunity for Watford here. Ken Sema actually takes it, whips a good ball in. Oh, and Keenan Davis heads just wide. Good opportunity there for Keenan Davis. It looked like he was unmarked, actually. Yeah, you know what? That's a good opportunity for Davis, actually. Loser with the fake free kick. Ken Sema whips it in with his left foot. And yeah, Keenan Davis had time there actually to get his head on that. If you are new here as well, yeah, please subscribe to the Watford Way by hitting the button down below. It would be much appreciated. Hopefully today we can hit 675 subscribers. That's the aim for today's stream. And hopefully, you know, Watford can pick up 3 points on the road as well. I'm not sure how our away form compares to our home form this season. I believe our away form may be better than our home form. If one of you guys can look that up for me, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, I think Watford this season have probably been better away from home than at home. I think when we play at home and when we play at Vicarage Road, there seems to be a lot of pressure and a lot of stress from the stands. I mean, I obviously go to every home game and, you know, I can feel the atmosphere around me. Whenever there's like a loose pass or something like that, everyone gets very tense. But here we go. Here's Watford. Oh, good defending by, I don't know who that was, but good defended by whatever Sheffield United defender that was. Ball won well back actually there. James Morris with a good ball in. And well defended there by Sheffield United. But Watford definitely been more dominant on the ball so far. I do, Adam. I do. Hopefully it stays. Hopefully this stream I've got stays for as long as possible. But yeah, I do remember that loser goal against Blackpool. Really, really good. And I actually think he scored a really good goal. It wasn't from a set piece, but I think it was against Norwich at Vicarage Road. It was like a half volley into the ground. It went over the goalkeeper. That was a class goal as well. He just can't stay fit. He can't stay fit at all. I think that's the problem with loser. But he clearly is, you know, a Premier League quality player. He's so good. And I felt bad for him as well because obviously, you know, it's such a long-term injury. He missed the World Cup, which would have been a big opportunity for him as well. So he's not had much luck this season, loser. But you know, he's made a couple of, you know, cameo substitute appearances. So hopefully, you know, that's kind of built up his match fitness, and hopefully he can play for at least, you know, 60, 70 minutes today. And he's been on the ball a lot so far, actually, as well. But yeah, 21 minutes gone in this game. Currently still Sheffield United 0, Watford 0. Slavan Bilic is being very vocal here on the touchline. He's actually having a go, I think, like, at the fourth official here. I don't know what Bilic is complaining about. But yeah, I think, you know, I find, you know, the way we play under Bilic a funny one, really, because I don't think we have, you know, necessarily any real, you know, identity. You know, you look at certain teams, especially in the Premier League, right? So you look at like Manchester United, you know, they like to play very tiki-taka football. Man City likes to dominate the ball. Whereas Watford, I don't feel like, you know, if someone said to me, how do Watford play, James? I don't really know what the answer is to that question. I'd probably say we like to play out from the back at times. We like to use our wide, creative players. But apart from that, I feel like we heavily rely on, you know, players, you know, individually coming up with moments of quality rather than actually playing as a team. I think the Middlesbrough game, you know, where they beat us 2-0 really highlighted that. You know, their you know, style of play was amazing. You know, everyone knew where they should be. Whereas Watford, we looked very disjointed. We didn't look very organised in defence or in attack. So yeah, I would like to see in the coming weeks, obviously with all our players now pretty much back from injury, I would like to see a bit more of a style of play. You know, is that too much to ask for? I don't think it is really. Here comes Sheffield United though. Good opportunity to whip the ball in, and that's well defended by Hamza Chowdhury. It goes out for a Sheffield United throw. That doesn't make any sense, Adam. We need loser on the pitch, so loser doesn't have to play so deep. I assume you are referring to Kone, Ismail Kone. He's on the bench for Watford today. Yeah, to be fair though, they just showed the Watford away fans. I think we've pretty much sold out the away end, which is really good to see. Ball hoofed away there by loser. Mario Gaspar picks it up. An opportunity for Sarr to counter-attack here on the right-hand side. And it's a poor pass from Mario Gaspar. So at the moment, it looks like Pedro, when Watford have the ball, it looks like Pedro on the right, Sarr on the left, and Davis up front. Obviously, they can kind of all interchange, but at the moment, that kind of looks like what we're doing. And then we've got like the midfield, an odd midfield today, I'd say. I mean, I would have potentially started Ismail Kone. I think he deserved to keep his place in the team. But, you know, Slaven Bilic clearly disagrees with what I have to say. So Kone dropped to the bench, and we've got a midfield of Loser and Chowdhury. But yeah, as Adam said in chat, that obviously limits the ability for Loser to kind of bomb forward, because he does have to, you know, sit back with Chowdhury. But he does offer that option, Loser, of, you know, pinging like 40, 50-yard passes, because his passing range is so good. He reminds me a little bit. Obviously, they're very different, but in terms of his passing ability, he does remind me of Etienne Capoue a little bit, actually. Here are Sheffield United on the ball. They whip ball into the penalty area. Well defended there by Wesley Hoyt, who brings the ball out. Ed second, welcome to the chat. How you doing, well, buddy? He says, do you think we will give Cathcart a new contract if Hoyt and Porteous are starters? So I think this is quite an interesting discussion to have, and I probably will make a video on it at some point as we go into the obviously the summer transfer window. When does Cathcart's contract expire? Does it actually expire this summer? Because if it expires this summer, I'd probably give him a year's extension. I think he's done enough this season to warrant a 1-year contract extension. Should he be starting week in, week out for Watford after this season, especially obviously with the incoming of Ryan Porteous and Wesley Hoyt? I'd probably say no. His Sheffield United, though, fires it way over the bar. I think that was the man in Dye, actually. Yeah, it was in Dye. Fires over the bar there. But yeah, in answer to your question, would I give Cathcart a contract extension? Yes, I would. But not to start week in, week out. I think it's a solid, you know, backup option. If you know, Porteous or Hoyt get injured, then absolutely is a good option to come into the team. But I don't think I'd have him starting every week, especially obviously if he got promoted to Premier League. I think the centre-back partnership we've got at the moment is really good. There's a good balance there between Hoyt and Porteous in terms of height, pace, physicality. I think we've got two absolutely superb defenders there for really low transfer fees actually as well. So yeah, you know, it's good to see that we've finally found two actually good defenders. You know, we've gone through a lot of players over the past few years, especially in defence. So it's good we've actually found some good defenders. Sheffield United have a free kick here. How's my audio as well? Is my audio okay? Do I look okay? Yeah, let me know if there's any technical issues with the stream as well, and I'll try and fix them. But here are Watford playing out from the back. Wesley Hoyt tries to find Ken Sema on that left-hand side. Yeah, Davis is trying to press from the front. I think with Keenan Davis, I don't know whether it's just his body type or what it is, but he always looks just slightly off the pace. But here is Davis down this right-hand side. He drives into the penalty area. He tries to find someone in the box. James Morris picks it up on this left-hand side. Ken Sema tries to whip a ball in. It gets blocked. Here's Sema again. Ken Sema using his physicality, and Watford lose the ball there. Loser picks it back up. He does really, really well. It's great play by Imran Loser. And here's Porteous. Porteous actually really likes to, you know, I've noticed actually in the past few games, he likes to drive into midfield with the ball quite a lot. João Pedro trying to create something. The referee lets play on, and he pulls it back actually for a Watford free kick. João Pedro goes down there. Slavan Bilic is furious. I mean, I don't think personally that's a free kick. I mean, João Pedro basically what happened there is, if you're not watching the game, João Pedro releases the ball. He makes a run. He clearly just runs into the Sheffield United player. I mean, I don't think it's a free kick unless I'm stupid. But yeah, basically, it's like, imagine you was walking down the street and I just ran into you. That's my fault because I can see you ahead of me. But the referees gave us a free kick, so I'm not complaining about that at all. And it's in a relatively good position actually. Sarr went down as well. He looks in a little bit of discomfort here, João Pedro. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like they're working on his knee or something. It looks like a knee injury. He looks okay. He's just stood back up. Obviously, João Pedro is literally our most important player. So any hint of an injury to him makes me very, very concerned. Hamza Chowdhury just getting some instructions there from Bilic. He looks okay, Pedro. He stood back up. He's walking over to the touchline. And Watford have the opportunity here from a free kick. Ken Sema and Loser again, both standing over this dead ball situation for Watford. Who's going to whip this in? Looks like Imran Loser might take this one. We've got about 15 minutes left of this half to go as well. And here's Loser. Oh, good delivery. And it goes out for... Goalkeeper fumbles it. Oh, there's an opportunity there, actually. And that's a Watford throw. Well done, boys. But you know what? So far, to be fair, you have to look at the last two games. You know, Watford playing West Brom, we win that. And so far, you know, 31 minutes played in this one. And we've gave a bloody good account of ourselves so far. There's been no real clear-cut opportunity. But we've dominated the ball. We've won some good set-piece situations. We just need to be a bit more clinical in that final third, a bit more deadly with that final ball. But so far, I've been quite impressed with what I've seen so far. Here's Sheffield United with a throw. If you are new around here as well, whether you're a Watford fan, a Sheffield United fan, or just a general football fan, make sure to subscribe by clicking the button down below. Make sure to like the stream. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from, the live chat. I'll be more than happy to chat to you guys. Fireball said the watch-alongs are back. Very much so. We've got quite a few home games coming up, so there won't be many watch-alongs in the next month or so, because I think 3 of our next 4 games are actually at Vicarage Road. But yeah, when I'm able to, I'm happy to do watch-alongs here on YouTube. And yeah, so it's just more exciting than me, you know, sitting watching the game on my own. I get to chat to you guys. And yeah, you know, it's always better when Watford actually win. But here's Ismaila Sarr down the right hand side. He drives forward using his pace, and yeah, he loses the ball quite silly there from Ismaila Sarr. He should have really laid it off to another Watford player. Your name's Danny. Okay. I'm pleased to say I'm going to have to walk at least 60 kilometres. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Danny. Oh, actually, I think I do. Are you the guy who has done the fundraiser for... I can't remember what the fundraiser was for, but you was walking every time someone donated a certain amount of money. I think that's you. Let me know if that is you. Well done for doing that, by the way. There's so many people who tune into these videos and that I chat to on social media. It's quite hard to keep track of who's who, especially when people use different profile pictures and stuff. But I think that is you, Danny. I think you are that guy. Here's Ismaila Sarr on the right-hand side. Great touch from Sarr. Sarr driving forward. He gets pulled back. Referee, it's a foul. And actually, Sarr went down there in the penalty area. It's a yellow card for the Sheffield United right back. And really, that's right on the line. I mean, potentially, is that a penalty? Let's have a look to see how close that was. Sarr does well there. No, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. It's outside the box. I'm getting too excited. That is you. That is you. Yeah, I thought it was. Well, welcome to the chat, Danny. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, another good set-piece situation here for Watford. Again, Ken Sema and Imran Luz are standing over this. Loser will probably take this. Is it in shooting distance? I don't think the angle was quite right to have a shot from this angle. Or maybe it is. I mean, Imran Luz has a lot of quality on the ball. You know, it would be audacious, but he could shoot from this situation. Sheffield United goalkeeper there setting up the wall. But yeah, here we go. Ken Sema and Imran Luz are standing over the ball. And we've had, 3 or 4 situations like this now. Come on. This is a really good situation. Here's Loser. Oh, what's happened? What's happened? Is it a penalty? Oh no, it's not a penalty. Never mind. I thought the goalkeeper fumbled it. There's a really good delivery by Loser. Hoyt challenges for it. I'm not sure what happened here. That was a decent situation for Watford. But the referee actually blows up for a Sheffield United free kick. The referee pointed to the area, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's given a penalty!" But apparently not. I got too excited. I'm sorry. Yeah, look at that. Good delivery by Loser. Goalkeeper does fumble it. Wesley Hoyt. They're getting a bit of a tangle. Hoyt and the goalkeeper. Yeah, that's interesting. Good opportunity though for Watford. Edward Worthy, welcome to the stream, my friend. Are we playing well? Just tuned in. You know what? I have to say, we've been actually doing quite well. I wouldn't say we've necessarily created any clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. However, we have had, 4 or 5 set-piece, good set-piece situations now. We've dominated possession. We've limited Sheffield United to the chances they've had as well. So I'd say, Edward, to be honest, we've probably just about edged this game so far, which is really, really good, actually. And obviously, Imran Luz is starting his first game since October, I believe, as well. So yeah, Edward, it's looking positive so far. I'm quite happy with how Watford have played. We just need to create, a good opportunity in front of goal. Here's Keenan Davis. Tries to create something from deep. I don't like the fact Davis has dropped this deep. Oh dear, he loses the ball actually. But we spread it out wide to James Morris on this left-hand side. He's done brilliantly in the last couple of weeks. For such a young player, James Morris has done really, really well. Here's Ismaila Sarr. Back out to Hamza Chowdhury. Loser plays the ball in. And that goes out for a Watford corner. I think that's our first corner of the game. João Pedro winning the corner for Watford. And he takes it short. Is Pedro going to whip this ball in? Here's Loser. He tries to. Comes back out to the edge of the penalty area. Oh. God, I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting game to watch. And that's a Sheffield United free kick, which they take quickly. Very high intensity. Danny says we seem to play better against the teams doing well. I assume you're referring to like the top teams in the league. And I think the reason that is because, you know, teams like Burnley, Sheffield United, West Brom, they also like to dominate games. I think that plays into Watford's hands. Whereas when we play teams like Wigan, Millwall, Blackpool, Preston, for example, teams like that who just like to sit back, you know, 10 men behind the ball. You know, it's quite hard for Watford to create stuff, whereas there is a lot of space in behind. And obviously we have a lot of pacey players in João Pedro, Sarr, Davis, Arajo when he plays. So I think games like this, actually, against high quality opposition, I think you're right in saying that it probably does benefit Watford more than if we did play against a team who, you know, is fighting relegation, for example. I've had quite a nasty cold actually over the past week as well. But I'm starting to feel better now. I can breathe a bit more freely. I was very bunged up during the week. But yeah, I am starting to feel better now. Here come Watford, though, on the attack. 5 minutes left to go in this half. João Pedro trying to create something on this left-hand side. And the goalkeeper easily claims that. %54 possession to Watford, to 46% for Sheffield United. And yeah, I have to be honest. I mean, I don't really know a lot about Sheffield United. I'm quite oblivious as to how they've been doing this season. Obviously, I know a few of their players from when they were in the Premier League as well. Indai being their key player, like João Pedro is to us. But I don't really know about, you know, how they've been doing, how they play. Obviously, they've been doing really well this season as a whole. But if we've got any Sheffield United fans watching, I'd be interested for you to enlighten me as to how you think your season's gone so far. And obviously, you've had a little bit of a blip in the last couple of games as well. They've lost their last two, so they'll be wanting to bounce back today. Dangerous ball there, though. Porteous clears. And there's a bit of pressure on the Watford defence here. It goes out for a Sheffield United corner with 4 minutes of normal time left to play in this half. Well, they don't look very excited, the crowd at Sheffield United. They look a bit depressed, to be honest. John Egan goes up to them. Obviously, he's been a solid servant for them over the years. I think he played under Chris Wilder, actually, John Egan, didn't he? Corner's whipped in. It's headed away. Missed kick there. Back on this right-hand side. Whipped back in. Can we get a head on that? No, we can't. It's blocked. Ball's whipped back in. And Daniel Batman shouldn't have come for that, really. It goes out for another Sheffield United corner. Yeah, Daniel Batman's always a little bit suspect in those situations where he has to come out for crosses. I can never really... Yeah, he should have left that, Daniel Batman, really. Obviously, Batman made a mistake, actually, against West Brom. Literally, I think he was trying to pass it to Chowdhury, and he passed it straight to... Who was it? I can't actually remember, but he passed it straight to their player. And yeah, that's quite a poor mistake. And that actually levelled it in that game at 2-2. And that goes wide. VJ says, sorry, James, can you go through the team again at half-time? I'll go through it now for you, VJ. because it has gone out for a Watford goal kick. Let's take a quick look for you. So it's Daniel Batman in goal, Mario Gaspar, Hamza Chowdhury, Imran Loser, Keenan Davis, Joao Pedro, Ken Sema, Ryan Porteous, partners Wesley Hoyt, with James Morris at left back and Ismail Assar in attack. And the bench is Okoya, Kone, Craig Cathcart, Arajo, Leandro Bacuna, Christian Capicelle, and Britt Assombalonga. So there's the team for you, VJ. And about 2 minutes left of normal time to play in this first half, if you're interested. And yeah, if I was Watford, I mean, you know, going away from home, you know, we've played quite decently well so far, I'd say. I'd get into half-time 0-0, regroup, and try to create something in the second half. Big opportunity there for Sheffield United. Mario Gaspar does well to put it behind. It's another corner, actually, for them. Yeah, a bit of a mess up there at the back for Watford, actually. I think that was McBurney on the half turn there. He nearly got a shot away. And here's the corner. Whipped in. Watford don't clear. It's still in play. And Chowdhury heads behind again for another corner. Wow. Watford under a lot of pressure late on in this first half. And yeah, I agree, VJ. There's a lot of talent on that bench to bring on. I'm a little bit disappointed that Matthias Martins and Yassir Asprilla haven't made it onto the bench. I think they're two good options as well, but there is a lot of talent on that bench if we need to change it up in the second half as well. And here comes a corner, whipped him, and goes over everybody for a Watford goal kick, and that should pretty much be it for the first half, actually. And it's been a solid game. You know, if you were a neutral watching this game, I think you'd be pretty entertained. 5 minutes added time. Oh my god! So 5 minutes added on. I was not expecting that, but there we go. 5 minutes added time there by the fourth official. Daniel Batman kicks it long. Keenan Davis tries to win it. Ismail Assar runs in behind. Couldn't quite get there. You know what? We've done well so far. We've played some good football. Here's Chowdhury. Sheffield United trying to counter here. Chowdhury does really well to get back. Close down McBurney. He's an interesting player, Ollie McBurney, actually. He's never really hit the heights that I think he could have, really. Mario Gaspar makes a mistake, actually, there. He loses the ball, gives it straight back to them. And here's an opportunity for Watford to counter. Davis is running through. Oh, Pedro should have released it. But he releases Ismail Assar. On this right-hand side, Ismail Assar. Oh, that was a big opportunity. That was a big opportunity for Ismail Assar there. That's frustrating. And yeah, not long to go now in this half. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the chat if you are watching along as well. And yeah, we won a corner there. I think we won a corner, actually. I thought that went out for a goal kick. Oh, no, it is a goal kick. Never mind. Ignore me. I was wrong. It's booted long. Chowdhury does well. And yeah, it's about 3 minutes to go in this half. If you are new around here as well, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for all the content we produce on this channel. We don't just do watch-alongs, we do match previews, reactions. We do like mini vlogs from the games as well. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And a like on the live stream as well would be much appreciated too. just drive the ball. They're going for the long throw here. I always get very worried about long throws, actually, because they're almost, you know, as good as corners if you can get them right. Still in play. Headed clear by Ismail Assar. Come on, boys. We've got about a minute and a half left to go. Let's just hold on to this 0-0 going into half-time. Well chased down there by João Pedro. Here comes Sheffield United driving forward. Good block there by Wesley Hoyt, who actually blows up for a... Is that a free kick to Sheffield United? I thought that's a good tackle, personally. I'm not sure. I don't have the commentary on, so obviously I can't hear what's actually been given here. I think that might be a free kick to Sheffield United. No, it's not. It's a throw-in. Ignore me. It's a throw. I clearly don't know the rules of football. Here they are. Long throw again. They do get a head on it. It's meant to be cleared by Loser. He doesn't do so. Here's Keenan Davis. He tries to drive forward. Loser. Davis drives forward. It goes out for a Watford throw. About a minute left to go. Come on, the boys. Come on, the boys. About a minute left to go in this game. And yeah, Bilic is probably... If I was Slavan Bilic, I'd be, you know, quite happy with how the game's gone so far. We're still in it. We've not conceded a goal. You know, going forward, we've looked at threat at times. There could be one more opportunity here as James Morris attempts to drive down his left-hand side. He looks to put a cross in. He's too weak, actually. He should have put the ball in earlier, and that's pretty much going to be time in this half now. And yeah, I've been quite satisfied at how Watford have played so far. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat as well. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. VJ says €100 million release clause for a bench warmer. Obviously, it's not you know, Enrique Arouge's fault that he's on the bench. I just don't think Slavan Bilic really rates him. I think Keenan Davis offers more in terms of holding up the ball and driving forward. I think if Watford are really dominant in the game and we're putting loads of balls into the box, or we're playing football very much on the ground rather than aerially, I think Arajo is more suited for that. But in physical games like this, is it his type of game? I'm not so sure. So I think that's maybe why he's not played so far. But Adam says get Arajo on at half time. Yes, Morris has been very good. I absolutely agree. And it is half time in this game now. Watford 0, Sheffield United 0. And I'm going to have a sip of my magic water, because every time I've done so far, when we've been doing watch-alongs, we seem to score a goal. So hopefully this magic water, hopefully this will help solve Watford's goal scoring problems. But yeah, I've been satisfied so far. It's been good. It's been good. And yeah, I agree, VJ, actually. It's a good point to bring up. And yeah, let me know, guys, in chat as well. James Morris or Hassan Kamara. Let's actually do a live poll in chat. I've never done this before. Who would you start for the rest of the season? So a live poll is going to go in chat at the moment. So we're going to go Kamara or Morris. And there we go. The live poll should be in chat for you guys to vote. So who would you start for the rest of this season? Hassan Kamara at left back or James Morris? Have a vote on that poll. And we'll come back to that just before the second half kicks off. But yeah, in summary, it was good. A good first half, solid. Nothing really for me to complain about. No one really made any dreadful mistakes. Defensively, we've looked good. Going forward, we've also looked okay. We just need to be a bit more clinical in that final third, don't we? I think that's been the issue all this season. A few of you in chat have said take Keenan Davis off, bring Henrique Arouge on. we'll have to wait and see what Bilic does. If we refer to the bench options Watford have got as well, let's just take another quick look at that. In terms of the changes we can make, attacking changes, Ismail Kone potentially could come on. Obviously, we just mentioned Enrique Arouge. And Britta Sombalonga is really the only other attacking change we can make. Obviously, no Asprilla on the bench, no Martins as well. So we are quite limited. Yeah, Arouge is probably the change, most likely change we'd look to make, really. Excuse me. And so far, yeah, James Morris is clearly winning the poll up so far as well. 100% of the votes so far have gone to James Morris, which is quite interesting, actually. I think he's still only 20 years old as well, which is, you know, for a first-team player, is still pretty young. You have to remember, João Pedro is only 21 years old himself. So for James Morris to be starting week in, week out at the moment, and performing at a good level in the Championship as well, I think that's, you know, really shows the quality he's got, actually. So yeah, I'm really happy for him, actually. Let's go on Twitter and see what everyone is saying at half-time. Vic Bate here on Twitter says, competitive this half against a horrible but good Sheffield United team. Lots of loose balls in our box. Sooner or later, one will drop for them. I can kind of agree with that, actually. Good to see João Pedro giving it a good go. Finn on Twitter says, I think we've actually been all right. My God, we've missed Imran Louza. I absolutely agree. Tough first half. So, yeah, contrasting views on Twitter, I would say. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I feel quite positive, but a lot of people on Twitter seem to be quite negative. So I do think it's quite interesting how football fans can have such drastically different opinions. But I'm happy. I mean, I don't know if you guys have managed to watch the game or not so far, but from what I've seen, I've been really not impressed, but I've been pleasantly surprised, let's say. Yeah, I'm happy with how it's gone so far. And yeah, what are you guys up to this evening? Obviously, it's Saturday night. You guys got any plans? You got something interesting? You getting a takeaway, Saturday night takeaway? Let me know. We've got cheeseburgers today, so I'm very much looking forward to eating them after the stream. Yeah, let me know what you guys are up to this evening. It'd be very interesting to know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to. So I just dropped my bottle there. I'm looking forward to going to Sheffield United, QPR away. Sorry, I'm going to QPR away. I'm very much looking forward to that. I booked that. I think I booked that about 2 weeks ago now, or last week. I can't quite remember, but that'll be my first away game this season. I've not been to any this season at all. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that, actually. QPR away. Danny says he just admires James Morris's mentality. BJ says, how can we fit Kone into this team? It's interesting with Kone. He's a very interesting player. I think he's quite physical. You know, when I've watched him at Vicarage Road, he seems quite tall in stature. So you'd think on the ball he'd dominate physically. You know, when he first arrived at Watford, Bilic played him in quite an advanced position, almost as a number 10, which I don't think really suited him that much. Then he got dropped for a couple of games. Then he came back in, and now he's been dropped again. So I think with Kone, it's more just, you know, it's a young player, as are many of our players, really. I don't think it's really a performance issue. I think it's just, you know, working his way into the team slowly over the coming weeks, really.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Sorry. My watch is clearly listening to me. Go away, Siri. But yeah, in terms of statistics, 7,000 Watford compared to 5 for Sheffield United. They've picked up 2 yellow cards. We've picked up 1. No saves actually by either goalkeeper, which hopefully means second half we'll see more goals. Fingers crossed. Yeah, no saves by either goalkeeper, and Watford dominating the possession as well. So in terms of statistics, it's looking all right for Watford. Danny says probably watch the football later. Might have a few pints as well. Sounds very good to me, Danny. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, you know, I'll have a good evening if Watford pick up 3 points. You know, that's all I ask for. I'm a very simple guy. A Watford win, I'm happy. Whereas sometimes Watford lose, and it completely ruins your weekend, doesn't it? So hopefully that's not the case today. But yeah, you know, we've been good so far, and the players should be coming out actually in the next couple of minutes to start the second half as well. Two shots for Watford, 7 for Sheffield United, none of which were on target for either side. And actually, while we've got the time as well, let's take a look at the scores in the other games that are happening this afternoon in the Championship and the Premier League. I'd be interested to see what the update is in the Arsenal game actually as well. So here we go. Obviously, we are watching Sheffield United versus Watford, which is currently 0-0 at half-time. Norwich are beating Cardiff City by 2-0. QPR are losing to Blackburn Rovers by 2-1. Obviously, the first game in charge there for Gareth Ainsworth, who's just joined from Wigan. Bristol City currently drawing with Hull 0-0. West Brom leading Middlesbrough by 2-0. That's a very interesting result there in the playoff race. Reading beating Blackpool by 1-0. Burnley having an amazing game down at Huddersfield. They're beating them by 3-0. Birmingham versus Luton. Obviously, Troy Deeney playing Luton Town there. Currently 0-0 in that game. Millwall beating Stoke City by 1-0, and Wigan are beating Preston. Bit of a relegation decider there. They're beating Preston by 1-0, and Swansea versus Rotherham, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, is a Monday night kickoff at 8 p.m. So some big results there in the championship. Actually, I think the West Brom result against Middlesbrough is very interesting. Burnley doing what Burnley do. They're beating Huddersfield by 3-0. And yeah, in the game we're watching, Sheffield United versus Watford, it's currently 0-0. So there you go. Those are the championship results so far. Let's take a look at the Premier League to see what's going on in the Premier League. Let's take a look. Matches. Here we go. So Everton. Wow, that's interesting. No goals in the Premier League at all. So Everton versus Aston Villa is 0-0. Leicester City versus Arsenal is 0-0. West Ham versus Nottingham Forest is 0-0. And Leeds United versus Southampton is 0-0. Interesting. Very, very interesting there. Obviously, Javi Gracia taking charge of his first ever Leeds United game there at Southampton. Massive game in the relegation battle. Wow. So not a lot of goals really anywhere. Few goals in the Championship. No goals so far in the Premier League. VJ says Arsenal had a goal disallowed apparently as well. Let's see if I can find out what that was about. Watford should be kicking off in about 2 minutes time for the second half as well. So make sure you keep tuned for that. And yeah, let's take a look at this Arsenal disallowed goal, see what happened in this situation. Yeah, so Leandro Trossard scores a really good goal for Arsenal from edge of the area. Wow, what a finish. Great goal by Trossard. I don't know. I don't really know why it was disallowed, really. But yeah, super finish by Leandro Trossard in that game. And Watford are just about to come out for the second half now. And yeah, let's take a look at the poll we put in the chat. So 9 votes on the poll. Who would you start for the rest of the season? Between Hassan Kamara and James Morris. And James Morris has clearly won the poll. 78% in favour of Morris and 22% in favour of Kamara. So that's very, very interesting. And here we go. All right, let's get ready to watch the second half. Get comfortable, guys. Get a drink. And hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully Watford can pick up 3 points. And hopefully we'll be celebrating a few goals. Fingers crossed. Come on, the boys. Let's take another quick look at Watford Twitter. Seems to be about a minute delay before the players come out in this game. Someone said Wesley Hoyt is struggling aerially against Ollie McBurney. Yeah, in terms of Sheffield United's most attacking players I've seen so far, I think McBurney has probably had the best chance. And everyone's saying the same things, really. Good defending, largely. You know, Katie on Twitter saying take Davies off, it's just not working. A few of you guys have said that as well. Pretty competitive first half. I do agree with that. Sombalonga looks to be doing a warm-up here, actually. Don't know if he's coming on for the second half. Or maybe not. But he's doing a warm-up with Sombalonga. And yeah, plays just about to come out here for the second half. Ismail Kone emerges. Doesn't look like he's going to come on at half-time, which is a shame. I do like the look of Kone. Right, score predictions for the second half. I don't think I actually made a score prediction before the game, which is very rare of me. I must have forgot to do one. So, how do I think the game's going to go in this second half? Let's have a think. I reckon we'll score. I reckon we'll score early on in the second half, and I reckon the goal will come from. I reckon the goal's going to come from Mario Gaspar. I've got a weird feeling that Mario Gaspar is going to score in this game. So yeah, I'll go 1-0 Watford. Mario Gaspar on the 57th minute. Do not take that as gospel. Do not bet because I've predicted that. But yeah, I'll go Mario Gaspar with the goal in this game for Watford to win. GM video has gone 1-0 to Watford. Danny has gone 1-1. Would you guys take a draw in this game? I think that's an interesting discussion to have. If we draw, let's see where that would put Watford in the table. It's not the worst result, but equally, we need to be kind of, making ground in the playoff race. Currently, Watford are sitting in 8th position. And actually, we do really need to, if we want to keep track with like Middlesbrough, Blackburn, Millwall, Norwich, we do need to pick up 3 points in this game, ideally. I seem to have lost my feed as well, which is very, very frustrating. As we discussed earlier, the fact they don't broadcast 3 p.m. games in the UK is very, very annoying. So we'll just have to keep checking Twitter for now, see if we can get any updates from the game. But we have kicked off for the second half. We're back underway. No changes for Watford so far. Bilic so far this season has waited quite a long time in games to change things. Ideally, if it's not working after 10-15 minutes, I'd make the change straight away. A lot of people said take Davies off. Davies is still on the pitch. That's very interesting. I think Arsenal have actually scored in their game now as well. I saw someone say Leicester are losing. Let's take a look. Obviously, the goal got disallowed for Arsenal. Arsenal are winning. Very interesting development there. Gabriel Martinelli with the goal just after half-time for Arsenal. They're dominating in that game, 75% possession, 8 shots to none for Leicester. And Arsenal go back top of the Premier League, 5 points ahead of Manchester City as well. So big development there in the title race. Still Leeds United 0, Southampton 0 as well. Big game there in the relegation zone. If Leeds win, they'll go out of the relegation zone, actually. So massive day for them. And if Watford win, we'll go back off into the playoff places as well. So big games all round today in the footballing world. GM Video has gone 1-0 to Watford. Danny's gone 1-1. I've gone 1-0 to Watford. Mary Gaspar with the goal. I'm unable to watch the game at the moment, so I'm heavily relying on Twitter for the updates in this game at the moment. Come on, Watford. Come on. We can do this. Let's see if anyone's messaged me at half-time on Instagram as well. We're back. We are back. Here we go. And here we go. I mean, this is massive 45 minutes for Watford as well. It's huge, isn't it? I mean, if Watford, want to challenge for them automatic promotion places, this is really the best chance you've got, because you have the opportunity yourselves to take points off the team you're chasing. It's like in the Premier League almost when, Man City face Arsenal. Man City have the opportunity there to, not only take points off of Arsenal, but make direct ground on them as well. And it's the same in this situation. If Watford win, we go within 8 points of Sheffield, with, you know, however many games we've got left to go. I think it's 12 or 13 games left to go. So yeah, it's a massive opportunity for Watford today. Felipe, hello, how are you doing? Just tuned in. How are Watford playing? We've actually been doing quite well, Felipe, I would say. You know, first half, we've been good. Sheffield United were limited to very few opportunities. Defensively, we've been good. You know, we've had largely a lot of control in the game. You know, going forward, we've looked okay as well. We're just lacking that clinicality. Is that a word? Clinicality? I'm not sure. The clinical edge in the final third, we've been lacking, Felipe. But yeah, you know, we've been okay. We've been okay. I'm happy. I'm happy with the performance so far. Obviously, if Sheffield United score, I'll be very angry and annoyed. But yeah, so far I'm quite content with how Watford have played so far as well. Daniel Batman making a save there for Watford. 52 minutes gone so far. And yeah, you know, it's just. I've seen loads of people talking about Imran Loser as well. It's just so good to see him back. You know, playing from the start of the game as well. You know, it's always good to see Loser, you know, get 15, 20-minute cameo appearances. But to see him actually back from the start of a football match, playing well as well, is so good to see. So yeah, I'm really happy Loser's back. He's probably actually back earlier than a lot of us anticipated, really. I mean, when he got injured, it was touted that he'd be out for you know, several months. I mean, there was a lot of talk about, you know, maybe it being a 6-7 month injury for Loser, and he's come back probably earlier than a lot of us thought. So, you know, I'm happy he's back. I don't want us to overplay him. I think there's a risk of us doing that. I think we kind of did that with Tom Cleverley potentially, where, you know, they come back from injury. You know, we all get excited that we've got another player to use. And then Tom Cleverley obviously was due to start the Burnley game. He got injured in the warm-up, and now it looks like Cleverley is going to be out pretty much until the end of the season, which is, you know, terrible for him, and you know, frustrating for Watford fans as well, because he's a nice guy, he's a nice player. However, as a Watford fan, looking at it from an overall perspective, we can't keep, you know, employing you know, players who get injured on such a regular basis, and it might be unlucky. You know, it might just be luck where he's picked up these awful injuries, you know, in a row. However, he's getting on in his career. I think his contract is up at the end of the season as well. So yeah, would you look to renew Tom Cleverley's contract, especially if Watford got promoted? I wouldn't. I know someone asked me about Craig Cathcart earlier as well. I think he's done enough this season, Cathcart, to show he is good enough for another year at Watford. Just not starting week in, week out, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, we've had loads and loads of players injured this season. It's been terrible, really. You know, Dan Gosling's another one. You know, another really long-term injury. So yeah, you know, is there any other players out I'm missing? I think that's pretty. Is that pretty much it? You know, at one point it was awful the amount of players we had out injured. I mean, it's literally you know, 14, 15 first team players. I think that was more around the period where we played Reading in the FA Cup and we literally fielded a team of academy players, which was quite funny. But also on the other hand, you know, we've done well to come through that period. I hope we never see a period like the injury crisis we've had this season again. Because, you know, if everyone was fit and everyone was available, we might be doing what Sheffield United and Burnley have done this season. And it's just a shame, really, that that the season went the way it did. Really, Ismail Assar a good opportunity there. And it goes behind for a Watford corner. And a lovely pass there by Joao Pedro as well. Felipe says, sounds positive. Would take a point in this game. I absolutely agree, Felipe. But we would be good to put together back-to-back wins. I absolutely agree. Especially as well, you know, West Brom, Sheffield United. If you offered me 6 points from 6 out of them 2 games, I absolutely would have said yes, please. Because those are 2 quality teams. You know, those are 2 teams that have been up there for the majority of this season. Obviously, West Brom started the season quite poorly, but in recent times, West Brom have been doing quite well. So if you offered me 2 wins from 2 out of West Brom and Sheffield United, I would have said absolutely yes, please. And as we discussed earlier as well, you know, the run of fixtures Watford have coming up in the next few weeks is really good in terms of you know, the teams we're playing. We've got QPR, Wigan, Preston, Birmingham. So those are teams, you know, theoretically we should be beating. So, you know, if we can pick up 3 points today and continue our okay run of form, that would be good. I've just had a message from someone saying, God, this is boring. I don't think it's been a particularly boring game. I think it's been a competitive game, a physical game, with not a lot of chances. But I don't think it's been boring, really. VJ says, has Troy scored yet? That's interesting. I'll check the scores again in just a moment. Obviously, Troy Deeney is currently playing against Luton Town because Birmingham are playing Luton Town in the Championship today. And on the subject of Troy Deeney returns to Watford later in a few weeks' time, actually, because Birmingham come to Vicarage Road. So that'll be good as well. Should we get an update on the scores, shall we? Let's have a look. Championship scores. So, I mean, so we're currently goalless at the moment. Bristol City, Hull City are currently goalless as well. But all the other Championship games have actually got goals in them today. So it's only us and Hull City who are currently goalless at the moment. The other games have all got goals. Hopefully we'll see a goal that goes in Watford's favour. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Coventry finished 2-1 there. Norwich still beating Cardiff by 2-0. Blackburn 3-1 up against QPR. West Brom still 2-0 up against Middlesbrough. Burnley still beating Huddersfield 3-0. Luton are beating Birmingham, which is a shame. Troy Deeney is not actually playing for Birmingham, which is quite interesting. Is he even on the bench? Not even on the bench, Troy Deeney. Maybe he picked up an injury. That's interesting. I feel sorry for the Watford fans who went up to Sheffield if it ended 0-0. By the way, I think like if you're an away fan traveling so far, you at least want to see some goals, all right? So yeah, I'm really hoping it doesn't end 0-0 at all. Felipe says, how is the Hoyt Porteous partnership looking? We discussed this at half time actually, Felipe. And I was saying that I'm really impressed with how well they've done actually, and the fact that we brought them in for such low transfer fees as well. I think together in total, I think they were under £1 million in transfer fees for both of them. Wesley Hoyt is an experienced Premier League defender. He's played at Southampton before. I think he was in Belgium or the Netherlands before he came over to Watford. So yeah, I'm quite happy with them too. They've done well so far this game. Obviously, if we suddenly concede, my mood will change entirely. But so far today, that they've done quite well, I think. And yeah, nearly 60 minutes played now in this game. Substitution for Watford. Loser is coming off, and Ismail Kone is coming on. So I think that's quite interesting that Slaven Bilic has only played Loser for about an hour. But I think that's fair enough. Ismail Kone is a good replacement. He's probably a bit more physical than Loser as well. So yeah, there's an update for you there. Imran Loser off. Ismail Kone comes on for Watford. Let's see if I can get an update on the Premier League table and the Premier League games as well. Let's take a look. So Arsenal ahead at Leicester, as we discussed. Aston Villa notably are ahead at Everton. Ollie Watkins with a penalty for Aston Villa, so that's quite interesting there. Obviously, Sean Dyche trying to keep Everton in the Premier League. What other matches have we got on? West Ham Notts Forest is 0-0, and Leeds United Southampton is 0-0 as well for all you guys that are interested. Sheffield United making a change as well. You tend to find that, don't you, as well, that substitutions always tend to happen around the 60th minute. Yes, it's odd. I suppose managers just, I don't know why they do it really, but around 60, 65 minutes is like the time to make substitutions normally, isn't it? Please subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here by hitting the button down below. Plenty more content to come up over the next few weeks. I'll probably record a match reaction for this game straight after. So make sure to keep an eye out for that either today or tomorrow. And yeah, then we'll be looking ahead to the next home game, which I believe is Preston. Is that right? Preston? Yeah, Preston at home next Saturday. So I'll probably do a match vlog for that game. And then we've got QPR away, Birmingham at home during the week, Wigan away, Wigan at home, Luton away, Huddersfield at home. Lots and lots of games to come up. So, we're not going to be bored, are we, really? Let me find out who that Sheffield United substitution was as well. So I didn't actually see that. Let's take a look. Oh, and Bogle has just scored for Sheffield United, but it is offside. It's offside. The linesman put his flag up. Jayden Bogle there scores for Sheffield United, but it is offside. Okay, that's interesting. Just shows how quickly a game can change, though. I mean, Watford probably lucky there for that to get ruled out, really. But the change for Sheffield United was John Fleck off, Ben Osborne on, Tommy Doyle on, and is that Matt Lau who's come off for them as well. Yeah, that's interesting. No, Sheffield United did score, ruled out for an offside decision. I mean, we've probably lost actually since loser went off. I know he only went off about 6 or 7 minutes ago, but we probably have lost a little bit of control. You know, he's just so calm under pressure. He's so good in the ball, isn't he, Loser? That when you sub a player of such quality off, you know, you do tend to lose a bit of control. It's like when João Pedro goes off the pitch, and we just look void of any attacking talent whatsoever. So it is important to keep your best players on the pitch, but also I do understand the need for Bilic to, you know, what's the word? Go into Imran Loser with a little bit of caution because obviously of how serious the initial injury he picked up was. So I'm content it's been taken up, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Preston next weekend as well. I think Preston are right down near the relegation zone, aren't they, as well? So, again, we really, if we want to be challenging for promotion, you know, I say this every week. I feel like I repeat myself so much, but we have to be winning a game like that, right? So another, you know, every game is massive for Watford, isn't it, really? Let's take a look at Twitter to see what everyone's been saying. You know, someone said we're letting Sheffield United back into the game. I agree. Watford getting overrun in midfield since Imran Loser's gone off. Someone else said I'll take 0-0. And yeah, someone else said, you know, as soon as we took Loser off, all of a sudden we've become much more frenzied and unsettled. Not a coincidence. I agree. But I'm not having to go at Bilic for making the decision to take Loser off. I think if any Watford fans say, "Oh, why did he take Loser off?" It's a stupid decision. I think you're stupid as well. Sorry if that sounds harsh, but you know he's been out for months and months with an injury, and you want to protect your best players, right? So I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it's bad he's taken Loser off at all, really. So, I mean, someone said here, this is an absolutely outrageous substitution. It's not outrageous at all. Oh, there's been some goals in the Premier League, has there, Danny? Let's have a look. That was funny, though, to be fair, wasn't it? You know, seeing all the Premier League games goalless at half time. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. Wow, West Ham scoring 2 quick-fire goals in their game. Danny Ings with 2 goals in 3 minutes for West Ham against Nottingham Forest there. Wow. I've never been to, well, I've been to West Ham once. There's quite a few stadiums I've not done. I've never done Millwall away. I've done Crystal Palace. I've done Arsenal. I've done Spurs. I've never done Fulham. I'd like to see Fulham away, actually. There's quite a few London stadiums I've never done. I mean, in general, I don't go to enough away games, really. I should probably go to more, to be honest. But yeah, I should. It's fun, right? I should go to more away games, but I just sometimes it's like, you know, someone will ask me, I'll be like, "Oh, James, do you want to go to Burnley away?" And I'll be like, "Nah, maybe not." Like, you know, if Watford get beaten 4-0 by Burnley, it's such a long way to travel, right? You know, especially if games are on television as well. So, yeah, that's what puts me off doing really long away days. But places like Brighton, Bournemouth, they're okay. Southampton as well. It's just like Newcastle, Burnley, Manchester. You know, they're so far to go. and if you know you're going to get beaten quite comfortably, it's not that enjoyable really. So for now, I'll stick to more local or closer to get to. But yeah, maybe next season I'll go to away days further afield. Who knows? Free kick here for Sheffield United. Good position actually as well. 70 minutes gone now in this game. Not Forest away actually. That'd be a good ground to go to. Apparently the atmosphere is really good there as well. Wrexham. Now Wrexham's an interesting one because obviously Wrexham are in the National League. It just looks class. Like the story at Wrexham, obviously, you know, some people find the story really exciting, some people find it not so exciting. But you know, Ryan Reynolds taking over at Wrexham for me is so interesting. I don't know if you guys watched a documentary on Disney Plus. I think it was called like Welcome to Wrexham or something like that, and that was really cool as well. So I'd love to go to just like a Wrexham home game at some point as well. Alkis Pisios, hello from Greece. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, what's the weather like in Greece? Let us know. I've been to Greece before. I've been to Rhodes on holiday. Yeah, lovely place, Greece. The water's lovely and warm in the summer. And yeah, I'd love to go back to Greece one day. So welcome to the chat, my friend. And yeah, Watford have got 20 minutes now to hold on, you know, to this 0-0 score, or hopefully, fingers crossed, we can push forward and get that winning goal. Hopefully, we can. Felipe says Wrexham's trying to do what Elton John did with Watford. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose there's some comparisons there, really. I suppose the difference is Elton John was actually a Watford fan, whereas you know Ryan Reynolds and Rob McAnally are not They weren't Wrexham fans before they brought Wrexham. But I still love the story there. It's really interesting, really interesting. And it's a great documentary as well. If you've not seen it, you know, it's definitely worth just picking up, you know, a Disney Plus subscription just to watch that. It's really interesting, that documentary. Has there been a goal? Oh, there has been a goal. Oh dear. Looks like an own goal as well, actually. That's frustrating. Oh dear. It was kind of inevitable, wasn't it? I mean, they definitely got a lot more control in the game since Imran User went off. That is frustrating. An own goal as well, pretty much. Yeah, Ryan Portier's own goal. So Ollie McBurney heads goalwards, and yeah, Ryan Portier puts it into the net basically. That's frustrating. I'm not going to go into Ryan Portier's because it's just unlucky. You know, he's not deliberately trying to score a goal, is he, guys? So that's annoying. Yeah, and I suppose it all does stem from Loser coming off. But again, I still stick with the fact that for me, you know, Loser, he should have come off just because he's at risk of you know, a reoccurring injury. It's a long-term injury. You want to come ease him back into the team. So I still stick by it, but a lot of people on Twitter and in the chat as well are not happy with the substitution. But there we go. There we go. That's frustrating. I honestly don't think we're going to get back into this game now, just because we have lost so much control. Yeah, that is gutting. And yeah, Ollie McBurney with the header and Ryan Porteous puts it into the back of the net. So there we go. Oh dear, you have to laugh, don't you? Otherwise, we'll all sit here literally crying. All airtime says awful. I don't think we've been awful all airtime. I think we've been. I thought first half we were good. I thought we was good first half. And Felipe says, agree, would rather have loser for the winnable games ahead, really. Adam Tomlinson there, not happy with Daniel Batman. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Batman's not covered himself in loads of glory, has he, over the past couple of weeks? I do think that's an area potentially we could look at improving in the summer. It's oh no. Oh dear. Britta Sombalonga looks to be coming on for Watford ahead of Henrique Arouge. Oh dear. That's an interesting substitution. That's all I'll say. As Jose Mourinho says, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. I don't think Britta Sombalonga is necessarily the right person to bring on in this situation. Cashton W YouTube, welcome to the chat, my friend. Of course, there's still a chance. Of course, but it's conceding own goals isn't very entertaining at all. Adam says it's Bilic trying to get a sack at this point. I think Bilic's in-game management can sometimes be left. There can be a lot to be desired, can't it? I mean, you know, some of the substitutions he makes are weird. I'll put it like that. They are weird substitutions. And yeah, a Sombalonga. So Sema comes off, a Sombalonga comes on. Nearly 80 minutes played here at Bramall Lane. Is a Sombalonga going to impact the game? I've not seen enough of a Sombalonga so far in a Watford shirt to suggest he can do that. I could literally be proved wrong. He could come on right now and score 2 goals. I just don't think that's going to happen. I can hear my dad downstairs talking about the game actually as well. He doesn't sound very happy. And yeah, I'm interested actually to talk about Bilic with you guys before we head off, because we've probably got about 10 minutes left of the game to go. You know, what are your thoughts on Bilic's time at Watford so far? Like, are you really happy? Are you content, or are you quite annoyed? Do you want him to be sacked? You know, is there like a poll we can do on this? Let's do a poll. Is Bilic the right man for the job? Because I think Bilic is a quality manager, clearly. He's much better than, you know, many other managers we've had in the past. However, you know, the aim this season is to get promoted, right? Yes, he had a massive injury crisis. However, I've just not seen, you know, I've not seen enough from the team in terms of tactical intelligence to suggest that he's having an influence in terms of the training they're doing on, you know, throughout the week. I don't know It's odd. It's odd. Anyway, I've put the poll in the chat. Is Bilic the right man for the job? Have a vote on that. Let me know what you guys think. But I think up until, at least give him until the end of the season, I would say. I don't think there's any benefit to sacking Slavan Bilic today, for example. I don't think there's any benefit to that whatsoever. So I'd at least give him until the end of the season. And yeah, I've just seen another replay of the goal, actually. I mean, Daniel Bachmann, is awful goalkeeping. It's really awful goalkeeping. Jesus, not good at all. Ah, dear. Come on, guys. Positivity. Positivity. Come on. So we made the third substitution now. Keenan Davis has come off finally. And Henrique Rouge has come on for Keenan Davis for the last 10 minutes or so in this game. So finally, Rouge has come on. Felipe says Bilic is not the problem. Some at recruitment holding on to players like Kabasele and Cleverly. Yeah, I agree with that. Injuries, of course, play a part. Give him until the end of the season. I absolutely agree with everything you've said there, Felipe. We're on the same wavelength there. It's just frustrating, though. It's what I said earlier. He leaves these, substitutions really late on. Like Keenan Davis, a lot of people were saying, take him off at half time. And yes, he's taking him off, but he's taking him off in the 81st minute when there's 9 minutes of normal time left to play. And if you've played football at any level, whether it be professional level, amateur level, or just with your friends, you'll know it's very difficult to influence and impact a game in 9 minutes. So, Rouge has got 9 minutes to score 2 goals to win Watford this game, which is impossible. Ah, dear. Well, not long left to go, guys, anyway. And then we can all head off and try to enjoy our Saturday evenings. Cashton says, Rick, playoff spot. I wouldn't say that yet. I'd say the next 4 games, for me, are the most important games Watford would have played this season. Losing to second place in the league is obviously really annoying and frustrating, but it's not disgraceful. If you look at the next 4 games Watford have got, Preston next Saturday has to be a win. QPR away have been on an extremely awful run of form. They've not won in something like 17 games. That has to be a win. Birmingham midweek, obviously the return of Troy Deeney to Watford. Sentimental reasons, yes, it would be great to see Troy Deeney, but that has to be a win as well. And then we've got Wigan the week after that. That has to be a win as well. So these next 4 games, we have to be picking up, 9 points at least, if not 12. And then after Wigan, we've got Luton. So that's not going to be easy as well. So the next 4 games for me are crucial. Joao Pedro Barrero, welcome to the chat, my friend. Hope you're doing well. He says, how is Henrique Rouge going? Well, it's interesting because the first few games he played, or the first few appearances he made, he looked okay. He looked quite promising. I think he actually assisted a goal. I can't remember what game it was in, but he took down the ball really well. He had a really good first touch, squared it across the box for Sarr. And yeah, he got an assist in that game. And he's really not made, I think he started the Middlesbrough game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not really had enough minutes to have an influence. So from what I've seen, João Pedro Barreiro, whoever you are, he's looked okay, but he's just not had, Bilic hasn't given him enough game time, really. And yeah, Uncle Ron, Danny, he's mental. That guy is mental on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you know who Uncle Ron is, it's hilarious. Very, very odd guy. Very odd guy. Oh, wow. I think Nottingham Forest are 4 goals down now to West Ham as well. So West Ham doing bits in the Premier League today. 4 goals there for them. Shall we take another look at the Championship fixtures? Let's have a look. Championship scores. So Sheffield United, as we all know, are beating Watford. Reading beating Blackpool by 3 goals to 0. Blimey. Luton still beating Birmingham. Preston beating Wigan. Burnley 4-0 up now at Huddersfield. And yeah, Burnley are on a totally different level now, really, to everyone else in the Championship. Felipe says, is Matthias Martins injured? I don't think he is injured at all. Same with Yassir Asprilla, really. I think Slaven Bilic just hasn't included them, in the match day squad for whatever reason, really. So it's a shame because he would have been a good option to bring on today. And he did a press conference before the game, Bilic, and he never mentioned an injury to Martins. So as far as we're aware, Matthias Martins and Asprilla are not injured. They're just not been included in the Watford squad today, which is annoying. It is annoying. Wow, a few people on Twitter are actually saying, get Bilic gone. Wow. And Watford actually, I mean, if we look at the Championship table, obviously, it's so close in terms of points tally, and where can't get my words out, and where everyone is. But Watford dropped down to 8th position, so Norwich go above Watford. I'll tell you all the teams that are above Watford currently. So Norwich are in 7th, Luton are in 6th, Millwall in 5th, Blackburn 4th, Middlesbrough 3rd, who are losing today actually. Sheffield United are in 2nd, and Burnley are in 1st position. Will Watford get promoted? I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. If we finish in the playoff positions, then obviously we have a chance. But I also think there's a very big chance that we might not even finish in the playoffs, which is gutting. However, until it's mathematically not possible, I'm still going to be confident because that's who I am. I'm just a positive guy. However, it's not looking that great if you look at the table. But there's still plenty of games left to play. There's 12 games left to go. And as we discussed a few minutes ago, the run of fixtures Watford have got is favourable. We've got some teams who potentially are not having very good seasons and we should be beating. So, the the next 3 or 4 games are favourable for Watford, and they're teams who we need to really be beating. Whether we'll do so is another question, but yeah, I've suddenly gone really, really depressed. 5 minutes of injury time in the game, by the way, if you are interested. It doesn't look like Watford are really going to score in these last 5 minutes, but let's wait and see. Who knows? I might be shocked. Ed says, I think we need to keep Bilic and give him a summer transfer window. And then if he starts off poor and get rid and bring in Gerard Struber. He was actually linked with Watford a few years ago, wasn't he, actually? That's interesting. Or Ismail as well. Yeah, 2 good shouts there for potential new managers for Watford. Yeah, I don't think we'll sack Bilic after this. I think that would be a shock to everyone, really. Danny says it's the games at home against Millwall, Hull, Rotherham, the games we should push to win. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Actually, really awful performances. The Millwall game on Boxing Day, awful. The whole game, it was about -5 degrees. I was freezing my arse off. That was awful as well. Yeah, I think you've got that spot on there, Danny. Actually, those are the games where Watford could have picked up the points. We didn't. Yeah, it's frustrating. It is what it is, though. Us fans sitting at home, we can't do anything to control what the team do and what decisions Bilic makes. We just have to kind of sit here and enjoy the ride, whether it be really good or really shit. But yeah, it's frustrating. Of course it is. But yeah, in terms of I'll record a match reaction for this game, which will either be out later today or tomorrow. Clearly where the game changed was the Imran Loose substitution. After we made that change, we lost complete control of the game. I still stand by the fact that it was the right decision to make. Watford should be able to play without Imran Loose for half an hour and not completely capitulate. However, that is where the game changed, and I suppose people are warranted to say it was the wrong decision. But for me, in my personal opinion, it was correct. He's a player who's been out injured for a long time, and we need to protect these. We need to protect these players when they come back from long-term injuries. So, yes, it's the right decision for me to make. It's just a shame that the result's not gone our way, and it looks like we're about to lose this game. I don't think Xisco will come back, VJ. I really like Xisco as a guy. As a person, he seems like a really nice person. However, yeah, I don't think Xisco will ever come back to Watford, in my personal opinion. Apparently, Javi Gracia has just won his first ever Leeds game as well. Let's take a look. They did. They beat Southampton. Massive result for Leeds there. Junior Firpo getting the goal, and Leeds with a massive statement in the Premier League relegation race. Aston Villa beat Everton by 2-0. Arsenal beat Leicester by 1-0, and West Ham beat Forest by 4-0. So lots of goals in the second half of the Premier League games. And it looks like Watford are just about to finish up here at Bramall Lane, which is very frustrating. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, very frustrating. So I'll probably wrap up the stream there because it doesn't look like Watford are going to score a goal. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. It's much appreciated. Obviously, if you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We provide you with loads and loads of Watford content, including watch-alongs like this, match previews, match reactions. We do sometimes vlogs from the games as well. If you follow us on Instagram, sometimes do live streams on there. Twitter for all your Watford news updates as well. So yeah, it's been a pleasure watching a game with you guys today. As I said, there's lots of home games coming up in the next few weeks, so we won't be doing any watch-alongs like this. But there'll be plenty of videos for you guys to catch up with as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.